Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Total War Rome 2. Here today on the channel, we're back with our Divide et Impera DEI Roman Republic series. This is episode 12, and there seems to be a huge cloud going over Greece. Get out of the way! I was just introducing the campaign episode. Come on, get out of it. There we go. I think there's a mod where you can reduce that. But anyway, guys, welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to continue on our war against Epirus, and we're going to have our first battle against the Athenians, which shall be fun. So if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here with notifications on. Let me know in the comments, feedback and suggestions for the series, and where you'd like me to expand and conquer. If you don't like the series or myself for whatever reason, feel free to leave a dislike. That is why the button is there for. As always, in the description below, I do have access to my Patreon and YouTube channel memberships finally on the channel. Completely optional, but massively helps out the channel. So we've got a little bit of a civil war problem potentially coming up here. 39%. We've already had one civil war in the series, so if we have another, it doesn't surprise me. Sometimes in DEI you can get 2 or 3 quite big ones. So we do have a lot of decent territory, but it looks maybe if Equite, Nobility, or Popularis separatists break away, we're going to be dragged around the map a little bit. There is a bit of a power vacuum growing because we lost 2 of our 10-star generals. First, my faction leader being Quintus Aemilianus Pappus, dying of old age, and then Fullo died to the Gauls, which we still need to deal with. Epirus have taken, so they still have that northern Sicilian territory which you need to take. We've got an army here which can go further north and deal with some minor rebellions. So we've still got the Gaulish front. We've been dealing with the Gauls for 4 episodes now. It's just because they've got weird territories and they've stretched me quite thin. So we'll deal with them. The conquest of Epirus has been a lot more easier. We've taken Apollonia, a territory in Illyria, and Larissa. We took Athens when the Athenians declared war upon me, which is weird. Oh, we're going to get in a small reinforcement here. So let's fight this one on the field. It's going to be an even fight, apart from the reinforcing. So let's do a quick save and a hard save and fight our first battle here against the Athenians. Mostly made up of Athenian pikes, just some basic hoplites, and 5 units of archers. So my reinforcing army here, mostly made up of straight up infantry, which isn't too bad. We should be able to push, hit and wrap around quite quickly. Yeah, so it's mostly veterans and legionaries, and then like 1 legionary cohort being the main, and then the town square coming in. Okay, nice dry day. Seems like most of the left of the battlefield's mostly up with water, so as long as we close the distance and not allow their archers to hit me with impunity, we'll be probably alright. Alright. So I'll put in the description below the mod if you guys would like to download it and play along with me. So let's set up this army formation. But this series will end in the not too soon future. Just let me know what you'd like me to replace it with. Doesn't necessarily have to be Rome 2, Total War. Just has to be a strategy game that I've let's played on the channel. You can always let me know ones I haven't played. If you see something that piques my interest, like, oh, I could see Simpzy playing that, let me know, because strategy games sometimes do pass me by. So we'll just form up here in a set formation. We'll wait for our reinforcements to come in. So nothing too crazy. Oh, they seem to have a couple. Yeah, okay. It's mostly just the lighter Larissa garrison, but they do have some slingers which we probably can use. Move them up. And we'll try and wrap around and flank where we can. So what are we now? Still about 220 or so turns into the campaign. And I think historically overall we probably should have a bit more territory than what I'd like. So quickly reform, and then we'll look to push. Alright. Let's go up. Try and get some line of sight. We're not going to enact our disciplined formation. We don't need to. I want to be aggressive. I want to be tenacious. I want to inflict high-octane attacks and try and distribute some of those peel. So we'll basically make a second army group with the lighters so we can flank. We'll move the skirmishers further there. Allow our general unit to push up. Push one cavalry unit towards the flank while the second can take up the right. I think the best bet is just trying to encircle them where we can. If you haven't gone and watched the last episode, highly recommend you do, but it was our first time fighting Epirus in quite some time. Now, even though the western factions like Gaul, Celtiberia and Carthaginians have not been able to break up our discipline monopoly, some of their heavier units and decent skirmishers and cavalry do break things apart, but from what I've witnessed, particularly in that last fight, pikes seem to be a really good counter to our legionaries. Like, maybe earlier on we might have been better to go against the Hellenic world, because we would have had Triari. It's pretty hard for me to recruit ethnically Roman spearmen, but I'm sure once we replenish and repair some of the border territories near Apollonia and Larissa, we'll be able to swell our ranks with some hoplites, which is probably not a bad idea, because the discipline formation, they thrive in hand-to-hand combat, and so like the pikes just chipping at you, which we don't want. Now, infantry, we outnumber them, and numerically we only just with the garrison, but they do have the archers on us, so we've only got lighter skirmishers against their medium archers, which are heavily armored piercing. So what I'll do is I'll try and get everyone to pick an individual unit just to try and lock them down, and anyone else that's free can try and wrap around. So they seem to be charging out some cavalry here, and we'll swing this around. Get out of here! Start off with your democracy! Even though the Latin and Hellenic world is quite intertwined at this point, but we've taken Athens. Let's finish them off. So we seem to be just skirmishing them out where we can. Yeah, just try and push up, be a little bit more aggressive, and we'll wrap around with the garrison on the left. Just easier to allow the mob and lighter units to blob. The mob to blob. There's a far out. That missile cab is running me rugged there. Continue around to push and pivot where we can. So once we finish off with Athens, we still have to take the city of Pella, a huge trade node in Macedonia. A decent city. I'm assuming that Greece is as good as it was in like Rome 1 and Rome 2. I don't think I've really conquered the majority of Greece in quite some time, especially on this patch. I'm just trying to like compare like profitability wise. I'll be curious to see. Yeah, so Macedon's been knocked out by Aetolian kings. Egypt still seems to hold most of the, or their sort of historic territory. Turkey's still very much divided by Galatian separatists and minor Pergamon Hellenic factions. I think Armenia probably has the biggest kingdom and growth out of their natural borders. They occupy about half of the east of modern Turkey. But let me know in your campaigns, guys. If you've done a Roman campaign recently, like, was it just me? Was it a bit of an outlier that Carthage lasted 200 turns and gave us so many crazy wars. We had to chase them. We chased them out of Sicily, Sardinia and Corsica, then in North Africa. Once we took we took the eastern coast of Iberia, and they fled back into the interior westward into Portugal. And the Gauls as well. Even though they've dealt with various Averni coalitions and confederations against their own people, they continually just seem to pick off weird territories and hold on. I'm really impressed with how the Gauls and the Carthaginians performed. Annoying as well, but I am impressed. I do like it when, like especially in this stage of the campaign, we should be fighting against proper build-up factions. The Nervii have done well. Same with the Germans. But I would have liked to see maybe Epirus slightly bigger. Maybe even the Britons as well. So, their pikes haven't been as prevalent as they were in the last one. I think because they were just more hoplite based. There's no harm in being a little bit cautious, just trying to wrap around. We probably didn't even need those additional garrison reinforcements. The enemy general is dead. Good. So now they've been hit with the massive army loss penalty. Exit. Let's continue to run down as many of them as we can. And that is the end for Athens. I would have liked to defeat the Spartans, but unfortunately, Epirus got there first. They beat us. They pipped us to the post. Okay, let's just try and run down as many of them as we can. So even though we didn't have the men are wavering, the ideal army build, we were still able to wrap around and throw some decent peeler. The skirmishes we didn't even need to rely on. I thought their archers would have done a hell of a lot better. Decisive victory. Let's end that one there. So we deployed 4.9k. We only lost 584. Wow. 2.9k they deployed, which is about the same of whatever our experienced infantry were. They lost 2.5 on the field. Looking at the casualties sustained and inflicted, we only lost about 60 to friendly fire, which is... Wow! So we lost... They killed 500. We lost 600. We just nearly happened to kill 1/5 of our own men. 1/6 rather of our own men. Okay. The general unit did alright. I wasn't expecting much from the medium hoplites, but archers should have done a lot better there. Cavalry, subpar. But our legionaries got between about 100 to 100 apiece. Ballius. Does that mean king? I can't remember. Or leader, because Athenians wouldn't have a king, would they? Certain Greek factions can confederate to form their own Hellenic league. These factions include Athens, Sparta, Rhodes, Pergamon, and Knossos. You think one of them probably would have united them all. Why is Epirus not invited to that? I know Pyrrhus is a stickly old bugger, but you think you'd unite up. Necessity knows no law except to conquer. Publius Cyrus, or Cyrus, Roman philosopher in the 1st century. If the battles were too long or too short, you can try out one of the many submods that will change the battle speed and difficulties for the player. I do recommend that. I do recommend checking out the submod list for DEI, like vanilla DEI. Like I said, if you want a long, methodical series, like if you, like I understand that if you're a type of person that wants to come back to a campaign over multiple months, I do recommend this because it's a long campaign. It's enjoyable. But if you're somewhere like me where, especially for YouTube's sake sometimes, Like, battles can drag on for an hour, and it's just a straight up grind. I do play on a slightly increased battle speed, because that battle went for about 11 minutes or so, but that's just that's probably a little bit more than vanilla, but this wasn't a battle hardened or experience army. Once the chevrons get up, once their melee attack and defense gets up, once those units interlock, they can grind out for quite some time. When disengaging a cavalry unit, deactivating their formation can reduce losses. I don't usually attack in a formation, which is interesting. I usually just go head on. Mostly getting my cavalry killed once they get focused by skirmishes. I think out of anything I've lost the most is probably cavalry. I just wish they were a little bit more armoured. That's why I personally prefer like the heavy cataphractor units, which have the armour buffs. But yeah, that's official. Faction destroyed. Athens is no more. Fantastic. So at least we got a good war against them. Shame what happened to the Spartans, however. Alrighty, welcome to the top of the turn. Now, speaking of Sparta, we need to deal with them. We're not at war with the Aetolian rebels just yet, so we're going to bypass that army. Okay, so we've got a couple of ethnic Aemilianuses. So we've got Gannicus Vespasian. The consul's going to go in with his brothers, and we should be able to finish off Epirus once and for all. I don't know why the auto resolve's so good there, so we'll bring it in just to sweeten it a little bit more. But I don't necessarily know if we need to. I'm not going to bring in Gannicus Vespasians because it's a little bit exhausting. We can't afford to lose those units. But Sparta will fall, and so will the bloodline of Pyrrhus. I only lost one unit there, that's fine. Alright, let's occupy. Replenish and repair and build up. You're getting 1.3. So we're going to deal with a little bit of public order debuffs. Just due to we don't have Knossos under our control, but that's fine. Okay, so we haven't officially destroyed the faction. We've still got that settlement in Sicily, if you guys forgot. Right, let's ransom. Okay, sweet. Just need to get those buildings up and running so we can repair. Oh, so we actually have access to Spartan hoplites in that particular zone. That's cool. A Spartan Roman hybrid army. Might actually be worthwhile because the army build for Spartans in Rome too, especially in DEI, are fantastic. It's a decent army. Okay, panning over to Sicily here now. We should be able to finish them off. I've sent over my navy just to help out. We've got another family member dealing with this. I guess we'll just go with a balanced stance and finish them off. And that should be the last of them. Oh, what? No way. The entire navy got wiped. I'm sick of losing my navies in auto resolve. They take so long to recruit. They just get smashed all the time. Okay, guys, welcome to the top of the turn. It is 226 BC. So, we've taken most of Hellas now. The Aetolian rebels to the north we have to deal with to try and take Macedonia, essentially. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to sort of wind things down in this episode here today as we sort of finish them off and officially take all of Greece. So, thank you very much for watching episode 12 of the Total War Rome 2 DEI campaign. Let me know in the comments where you'd like me to expand and conquer after this. So, basically, we've got two major army groups split up. We have this legionary force in Greece So we can naturally progress. We probably need to take Knossos. We probably need to take Illyria, along with the Macedonian and Balkan territory near Thrace. And then we have Mark Antony, Marcus Aemilianus Antonius towards Gaul. So once we sort of still focus and finish off Gaul, which we're having a little bit of a problem with public order-wise, and we could probably go against the Nervii, the Belgae factions there, and then I guess we'll make preparations to go to Britain. But we should be able to take Pella here. Yeah, because I don't know why their main army was like floating around Larissa. So we've managed to knock out their main opposition, and now we've just pushed in and taken Pella. I was kind of sick of them hanging around and posturing their muscles around Athens and Sparta anyway. But thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for daily content on the channel. Still, we've got a... So what are we now? Coming into August. So a lot of exciting stuff coming for the channel over the next couple of months. We've got a lot of good strategy, Total War, DLC and game releases. So stay tuned for more videos on that. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So stay tuned for more videos on the channel. Much love from Australia. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comment section down below your feedback for the series. And if you'd like to see more, that's the best way to ensure more content. Leave a dislike if you're not enjoying the series. Check out my social media links if you want to stay connected with me. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all in the description below. Patreon and merchandise link in the description below, along with the Steam group. Come and join the community on Steam. And on that note, unfortunately, I have to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching once again. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Goodbye.